you. Thank you. Chairman Menendez, Ranking Member Corker, members of the Foreign Relations Committee, thank you so much for the opportunity to speak today in support of the Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities. I believe CRPD ratification is integral to our nation's global leadership role. We set the gold standard in our lifelong commitment to our disabled veterans. We have what should be the gold standard in disability access, yet our legitimacy to lead other nations is weakened because we have not yet ratified the CRPD. There are over 5.5 million veterans with disabilities in the United States, and this number will continue to grow as we welcome back our service members from their deployments. We are fortunate to have many laws, most importantly, the Americans with Disabilities Act, that make sure our veterans are welcomed back with the dignity and respect they deserve. The passage of the ADA showed a united America, Republicans and Democrats standing up together for the rights of disabled persons. America's leadership inspired many around the world to seek justice and fairness for disability communities in their own countries. Unfortunately, our laws do not follow service members and veterans when they are outside U.S. borders. When veterans travel abroad, they are often jolted by leaving our nation that does everything in its power to support our wounded warriors. I traveled to Asia earlier this year, and I saw firsthand how even countries that are moving forward economically are not keeping pace with the necessary protections for disabled persons. For example, disabilities groups that I met with told me about the challenges they face in trying to make public buses wheelchair accessible. It's a sad fact that in many countries around the world, the disabled are hidden, considered to be an embarrassment, and not afforded the accommodations they need to lead productive lives. Not surprising then that when disabled Americans travel abroad, we can find ourselves mistreated and rejected simply because we are physically, developmentally, or cognitively disabled. Without U.S. ratification of the CRPD, those of us who are disabled and active lose the ability to set an example when traveling overseas. Blinded veterans have had their guide sticks taken away after being mistaken for weapons. People with artificial limbs have been told to store them in overhead bins. As one blinded veteran who ventures around the world climbing its tallest peaks recently put it, climbing the mountains is not the challenge. Getting there is. Many wounded warriors are returning to active duty service. They should not be limited by their disability as to where and how they can leave their impact on the world. We do want to travel, work, and yes, serve abroad. But our service abroad will be limited if we do not start thinking globally about accessibility and how the U.S. can have an impact now on this issue. The generous benefits provided by the post-9/11 GI Bill that many on this very committee supported have given almost 1 million Iraq and Afghanistan veterans the opportunity to further their education. Many of these veterans are disabled and will be unable to enhance their education with study abroad opportunities because of a lack of disability access overseas. It's sad that those who fought for our freedoms would find their own freedoms restricted now that they're moving on with their lives. Accessibility abroad also impacts current service members. For those that have a child or a family member with a disability, the lack of access in the country of their duty station can mean limited opportunities for their children or employment for their spouses. These service members may have to face a very difficult choice between a career-enhancing tour of duty or leaving their loved ones behind here in the United States. This is unfortunate because the Department of Defense provides many accommodations for the needs of military families. For example, the DoD will pay for homeschooling supplies, equipment, and support for service members with families in the Exceptional Family Member Program. Yet if the service member fears negative stigma from joining the program, they are likely to miss out on a homeschooling benefit that might have allowed their children with disabilities to accompany them on an enriching overseas assignment. For all these reasons, the Veterans of Foreign Wars, the Iraq and Afghanistan Veterans of America, and the Blinded Veterans of America all support ratifying this vital treaty. In August, I was thrilled to cheer on the American Legion when their membership unanimously voted to support ratification of the CRPD at their annual convention. We wounded warriors have done our job serving our country. Many of us sacrificed a great deal in doing so. We did this because we believe in this nation. We believe our country should lead, that the world is a better place when the U.S. steps up to take leadership. And when it comes to improving opportunities for disabled Americans who want to travel and work abroad, veterans believe we should have a seat at the head of the table. It is time that the United States reaffirms itself as a leader for fairness and justice. We must stand as an example for those with disabilities around the world. We've done it before, and we can do it again.